Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto. Guys, we got a great show lined up for you today because today we are going to be talking about none other than Bitcoin. What else is new? Well, today we're going to be jumping into the charts because if you guys didn't know, Bitcoin is currently undergoing a pretty powerful setup where we could end up seeing Bitcoin race off to the upside if it is able to maintain a formation that it has been playing out over just the last couple of weeks. As you guys know, Bitcoin broke very bullish last week, pushing up above $20,000. Now, Bitcoin is pushing up above $20,500 and establishing new higher highs, new higher lows, still in a bullish uptrend and bullish trend confirmation from LuxAlgo, and it today has a lot to show us. We're going to be diving deep into Bitcoin's technicals today, taking a look at its chart formations, its price action, all of the different indicators that we're looking at. We're even going to look at things like liquidations, the shorts. We're going to talk about the FOMC and their upcoming meeting on December 14th and the different implications that many of these meetings and many of these fundamental factors could have on Bitcoin. We're going to dive deep into where Bitcoin is going so that you can be up to speed on this market so that you can make as much money in the cryptocurrency space as possible. Don't forget, guys, this show is called Coffee and Crypto. I am Crypto Jebb. I am your host, and today we're going to have a lot of fun. But if you don't already have your coffee, then you need to go get some. You can take the stream with you on your phone and go get some coffee, but make sure you get some. For everybody who does have their coffee and came prepared on three, we'll cheers. 1, 2, 3, boom. Bottoms up. Got to have some coffee with your crypto in the morning. Guys, we got a great show. I am so excited for this today. We already got 200 people watching, about 50 likes in the chat. My wife thought that was pretty funny, what I said in chat earlier. I said, today might be the second time this year I changed a name. Anybody want to guess what I meant by that in chat? Let's go ahead and read some chat, though, talking about it here, because we've got a lot of green names. And, in fact, Mike Lowry was first. So shout out to Mike Lowry. Really appreciate all of you guys who have joined the membership. If you guys don't know what that is, essentially the membership is a place where you can help to support this channel. Every single month, you guys are able to help support the channel financially, and you get different perks for that support. One of the main perks is getting a green name in chat, and I will give you a shout out at the beginning of every stream where I see you. Mike Lowry said, smash them likes for FinSov. Hashtag FinSov. If anybody doesn't know what FinSov is, that's the motto around here. That basically means you having control over your finances rather than your finances having control over you. So many Americans and so many people around the world live as a servant or in servitude to their finances because they are constantly running the rat race to try and generate enough money to live their lifestyle. Or on the flip side, they don't have enough money, so the lack of money is what is keeping them in bondage. And I don't want you to be in either one of those positions. I want you to be in a position where your finances are serving you, not you serving your finances, because that's no way to live, constantly just trying to keep up with the Joneses or having no money to do what you know you need to do or want to do, like go on a vacation with your kids or make sure that you have doctors that can take care of you. I want to help you set up yourself in a financially sovereign way so that you can live that life that God's called you to. Anyway, we also got Crypto Ben Franklin here in chat. Said, happy Monday, everybody. Got Martine Siebels. Always love saying your name, man. We got Dana Schwartz. Shout out to Dana Schwartz. That said, you were the best, Jebb. Hi. Grand Roofing Incorporated. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, good morning, Jebb. Good morning, all. Hello. Flair Staking is in chat also. Grand Roofing said, oh, that was close. I almost missed the stream because my daughter had my channel switched to an old channel. Well, we are here. We are here. Mike Lowry in chat. Veronica Gainey said, I hope everyone had a good weekend. Yeah, how was your weekend? I got a funny story to tell you about this weekend when my family and I went swimming here in a little bit, and then we're going to jump into the charts. Justin Eubanks in chat said, good morning, gang. Veronica Gainey said, Good morning, Jebb and family. Mike Lowry says, smash the likes. Aliun said, good morning, beautiful people. Hello. You must be talking to everybody else, including my wife. Anyway, Crypto JMP said, I'm here. Silent also said, I'm back. What's up, Silent? Good to see you, man. Justin Eubanks, Silent in chat. Shadrach Frost, Gia S. Oh, it jumped forward. Man, there's so many names. So many names. Veronica Gainey, Eye of the Beholder, Justin Eubanks, Matt C's in chat, Crypto Smitty, Silent again, Veronica Gainey. Man, so many green names in chat. Really, really appreciating you guys. Yeah, so yesterday we went to a family's house that my in-laws are good friends with and go way back in. Their family is married to their family. They've got different, kids are married to each other. There's a lot of, as far as their family and this family have married together, so they know each other. They go way back, and so we went over there, and they have this giant pool. It's a 4-foot deep pool, and another family was there, had a bunch of kids that our son Malachi really likes, and there was this pool, and they were talking about, we don't chlorinate the pool. Instead we put salt in the pool, and that's what keeps it clean, because there's an ionizer, and the ionizer breaks apart the sodium chloride, which is salt, and then you get the chlorine. I tell you what, I had two things happen to me at the same time, and I am pretty sure that I need to get checked out for this. This is rough. I got so exhausted, I thought I was going to go into shock because I think my blood sugar dropped so low because I was swimming so hard and being so silly with the kids and like diving in with them. And then also the salt got in my eyes and I couldn't keep them open. One of the other guys who was there had to drive our car home for me because I literally could not open my eyes. It was really hard, but it was a lot of fun. So if any of you guys are ever in a saltwater pool, originally, it's going to be easier on your eyes. It's actually a lot better than chlorine. The aftertaste, it's hard. So just a word of warning for anybody who has a saltwater pool. Just wear some goggles and learn from my mistake. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump onto CoinMarketCap because I want you guys to know what's going on Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently trading at $20,711, 711. Down 2.46% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum sitting at 1579, down 3% in the last 24 hours. You might be wondering, Jebb, I thought we were talking about a Bitcoin setup, and it seemed like you were talking about a bullish setup. So what gives? Why are we looking here at Bitcoin being down? Well, there's a lot of things to look at on that. One of the first things I want to point out here is not actually Bitcoin, it's total market capitalization. If you remember, we've talked about this metric quite a lot recently. This is the metric that indicates how much the valuation of all cryptocurrencies is combined. And over on coinmarketcap.com, it is currently listed at $1,540,754,501.96.2. You can see that's the number I'm reading right up there. But we had seen cryptocurrency sitting below this range of $1 trillion market cap for a good amount of time. In fact, we were bottoming out around $900 billion market capitalization. So we were actually diving down into that, what would it be, 12-figure territory rather than that 12-figure instead of the 13-figure territory that Bitcoin had gotten used to. So Bitcoin, luckily, managed to jump back up above that. And you guys are talking about FTX in chat. Yeah, we're gonna try and find some articles here on FTX and Binance. I haven't been able to really see what's going on with that, but I have seen that there's a lot of drama about that. So I'm going to discover what's going on with you guys. So early on a Monday, so help me catch up. But we got Bitcoin over here. And crypto jumped above $1 trillion market capitalization back when we saw Bitcoin go through this blast off over here on October 25th. And when that happened, Bitcoin rallied 9% in 20 hours. That had to do with a ton of liquidations happening over on FTX. You can see there was $500 million in shorts on FTX one day, $500 million the next day. 3 days later, there was another $1/3 billion in short liquidations happening over on FTX. Definitely seemed to me like there was not necessarily intentional manipulation going on, but definitely some very strong market manipulation happening. And by the way, market manipulation, and this is something to clear up for you guys who don't know, market manipulation isn't always tinfoil hat conspiracy territory. Market manipulation is any time that a trade changes the price of Bitcoin. So anytime you trade, you're manipulating the market by moving it in a certain direction. You're moving the market. A lot of times that would be called market movement. But market manipulation is actually a valid term for that. So I'm not necessarily talking about market manipulation in like a bad actor sense, but market manipulation in that one exchange moved the majority of the market. And there may have been some stuff going on behind the scenes, although I don't know on that. I am a little suspicious, though. Nevertheless, Bitcoin had that massive jump, and that pushed cryptocurrency back up above $1 trillion market cap, and we saw that we have been actually maintaining that ever since. Bitcoin has had some trials and tribulations since then, double top, double bottom, moved to the upside, dropped over the weekend, but it has managed to keep all of crypto well above $1 trillion market cap, and in fact, we even tested $1 trillion market capitalization as support multiple times. Back here on the 26th, we were testing it as resistance, but you can see here, this middle line right here, if you're in 1080p resolution, you can probably see this. That central line represents $1 trillion market cap denoted over here. We saw Bitcoin come back and backtest this area several times, and right now we're kind of coming back and backtesting again and setting higher highs and higher lows. Instead of setting the local high at $1,033 billion, we've set the local high at $1,064 billion. So that might seem like it's not that much. We're talking about 2 or 3%, but you're also talking about $30 billion. So you're talking about 2/3 of a Twitter. That's a lot of money that's flowing into crypto. The bottom went from $1 trillion to $1,026 billion. So we're looking at $30 billion added onto the cryptocurrency space in the highs and the lows in the span of a week. And that means that the market cap in general, if you take the last two highs and the last two lows, has grown 3% in a week. That's pretty solid. That's really, really good. That's not BitConnect returns, but of course that was a Ponzi scheme in crypto. At least the big players aren't. We see that Bitcoin and crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum and a lot of the cryptos are down 3% today. Yes, but where are they down from? They're down from new local highs, and they're actually managing to maintain some support. So before we jump into Bitcoin, I think it's imperative that we actually look pretty closely here at total market capitalization as well, because it gives us a lot of context for what we're going to discuss on the shorter term time frames and the shorter term intervals. One of the first things I want to show you is the daily chart here on total market capitalization. If you don't know what this is, I'm going to give you a refresher here in just a second, but let me just get this trend line exactly where it's supposed to be, because it just so happens to line up literally perfectly. Guys, just so you know, if you're ever looking at a chart and you don't see a solid trend line denoting movement, a lot of times if you look on a different chart, you're going to find it. So if you're looking at Ethereum over US dollars and you don't find it, look on Ethereum over BTC. If you're looking on Bitcoin, you can't find it, look on total market capitalization. A lot of times you're going to find a trend line that is denoting why the market is moving in a certain direction. For example, on Bitcoin, it's kind of difficult to find, at least I don't know of a trend line that defines why we topped out right here at $21,500. But if you look at total market capitalization and you look at this downtrend right here, well, all of a sudden it makes a lot more sense because we hit our head perfectly on it and rejected over the weekend. Backing up a little bit, for anybody who doesn't know what we're looking at, this is total market capitalization. And this is an aggregate put together by TradingView. You can go over here to the crypto tab, type in total, and you'll get total, total 2, and total 3, and then also total DeFi and total DeFi.D, which is market capitalization dominance of DeFi, and then others. These are 6 aggregated metrics, indices, if you will, that are put together by TradingView that show you the total market capitalization of crypto entirely here on total, and then total 2 is total market cap excluding Bitcoin, total 3 is total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ether, and then total DeFi is total DeFi market capitalization. So if we just look at this, for example, you can see it's currently sitting at $46 billion, and that would be pretty much everything in the DeFi category over here on CoinMarketCap. So DAI, Avalanche, Uniswap, Wrap Bitcoin, Chainlink, Tezos, this nonsense, Terra Classic. I don't know why anybody would invest in anything related to Terra anymore, but I guess everybody's got their own poison. If we look at here at total, though, you can see that there is an uptrend here that I showed you guys last week that is just absolutely down to the wire, almost perfect for predicting where Bitcoin was going to bounce. You can see this trend line right here meets up with both of these lows, both of them, not just one, both of them exceptionally well. See how close these are? This is within, if you look right here, this is within about $100 million. When you're looking at the grand scheme of things, $100 million in crypto is chump change. So if they're that close, that's really powerful. But it's not just those two areas that this trend line adds up with. If we look back here to 2020, you can see the market bottomed out here perfectly. This is the same trend line, guys. For anybody who didn't see this last week, you're looking at some incredibly powerful trend lines right now. We hit it perfectly. I mean, look at how close this is. We're talking within tens of millions of dollars. Look at this. We're talking within $100 million again, less than $100 million, how close that is. And I haven't drawn it perfectly, but if you look at it through the history, it's very solid. And then you look back here into 2015, and we hit it perfectly again. So this trend line has 4 touches, 2 of them being just days apart. This is back at $2.92 billion. This is back when crypto was worth 1/10 of a Twitter. I'm using Twitter as a scale now. Like, you know how they talk about in America, oh, it's this many football fields. We're going to start using Twitter as our metric for large numbers here. Nevertheless, if you look at this on the long-term time frames, it becomes apparent how powerful this is. This is the baseline for the uptrend in cryptocurrency dominance over global financial markets over the last 7 years. This is the trend line that defines the increase in Bitcoin's price. If you were to move this, if you were to draw a trend line right here between the highs, by the way, this also adds up very, very nicely. So this is where you start getting into territory of really being able to define the way markets move. Because if you look at the uptrend here on total market cap also, it just so happens to line up perfectly as well. You have 3 touches on the uptrend, and then you have 3 touches on the baseline down here. And then what do you also see? Well, you also see this midline forming right here with this uptrend right, with this level right here, these levels back over here, this local high, this bottom, this bottom, this bottom. We fell through it. What does this mean? This means that if we haven't bottomed out on Bitcoin yet, technically speaking, we ought to be very, very, very close. And if we're calling this blue line the center line, then the first thing that you notice is the market has been generally trending to the upside in an exceptional fashion over the last 7-8 years. The other thing you notice is that we're at the absolute bottom of the range. Like, we're not even at the middle line. We are at the complete bottom of the range. We're at the complete and total bottom of the range. And if you look at the bottoms and the local tops and local highs down, local highs and local lows down here on the daily chart, you see that we are sitting here in a symmetrical triangle pattern that is technically bearish because it's pushing the market down. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, and you look at the fact that CME Futures over here is predicting the next effective federal funds rate hike is going to be 50 basis points. If you look at the fact that we're about to see a major election in the United States tomorrow, which hopefully is going to dispel some of the FUD in markets. If you look at the fact that CPI data drops on November the 10th, and that CPI data is likely going to be 8%, maybe 8.1, but hopefully lower than 8.2. If you look at all of the different things going on globally, you realize that, wow, there might be a bit of a setup going on here. There might be the start of something. The Dixie has paused its rally over the month of October also. This is something else to consider. The Dixie is an incredibly important indicator for how Bitcoin and crypto is doing. Why is the Dixie slowed down? Well, you can see right here the Dixie has. In fact, it's in a falling trading channel, which actually does indicate increased movement to the upside relatively soon. But for now, the Dixie is falling, giving Bitcoin room to run, room to fly. What does this mean? Well, this means, and this reminds us, that many of the world economies, many of the world central banks are starting to hike rates even faster. You see Canada's got their rates pretty much to where they want. They've even started slowing down. You can see the Bank of England has hiked rates. The European Central Bank hiking rates for the first time in over a decade. Many of these banks are going through major rate hikes, and the head start that the US dollar got by hiking rates back here in March, which is when we started taking off on the Dixie from 94 up to 114, highest levels, by the way, for historical context, that we've seen on the Dixie since 2002. We're talking 20 years ago. That indicates that the Dixie might be at its peak. And if we look at some of these trend lines, you can see, just come up with any trend line here. Any trend line you come up with here, the Dixie is above it. Any trend line. You're not going to find a lot of trend lines indicating that the Dixie ought to be continuing much higher. Just look for any major uptrending level of resistance, downtrending level of resistance, and you're going to have a hard time finding one that is going to give the Dixie more room to run. But if you look at the uptrending levels of support, like this one, for example, and you look at some of these trend lines right here, you see, okay, Dixie's been in this gradual trend to the upside as the U.S. has gained economic dominance since the 2008 financial crisis. We have started to reach the peak of this range, and you should expect from a technical standpoint and from a monetary fiscal policy standpoint to see the Dixie start curving back over maybe to this line at around 100 to 105 points over the next couple of years. That gives Bitcoin more room to run as well, especially if we think we're only going to see a 50 basis point rate hike come December 14th. I'm telling you guys, December 14th and November 10th are the 2 days to look for, because on those 2 days, you're going to find out whether or not inflation has come down, which will be coming out on, again, the CPI data will be coming out November the 10th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And then we're also going to see whether or not the effective federal funds rate raises by only 50 basis points. If that does occur, that means the Fed has started pivoting. That means the cost of money started getting more expensive slower. Doesn't mean the cost of money went down because they're not dropping rates, but the cost of money has slowed down in its ascent in expense, if you will. And that's going to be a good thing for the global economy. That's going to be a good thing for the, not necessarily a good thing, excuse me, it's going to be a bullish thing. The Fed needs to get inflation under control, and that is their prerogative. So the good thing to do is get inflation under control so that we don't lose our value slowly to a silent tax called inflation that comes and steals money from you without ever having to touch it. but it will be a bullish thing for the markets. And it won't just be a bullish thing for crypto, it'll also be a bullish thing for the stock market. And don't forget, guys, there's also a context over here that the stock market has been rallying substantially over just the last couple of days, over the last couple of weeks, ever since it bottomed out here at 348 on the SPY over on October 13th, rallied 12% up to 390. Yes, we're down over the last few days, over the last week, but this just really looks like a one wave up, a second wave down, and then a third wave moving to the upside. If you were to do this from Elliott wave perspective here, let me find my Elliott waves. If you were to do this from Elliott wave perspective, then you would be looking at something like this. It's expected that you would have a movement to the downside to correct. A lot of times you're going to see a movement like that over on Elliott waves. I don't use Elliott wave theory that much, but this actually does come in handy. You can kind of see something similar playing out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not exactly drawing these things the way that a lot of people would. I am not by any means an expert in Elliott wave analysis, but this is just something to keep in mind. Total market capitalization is sitting up here around $1 trillion. Dixie is pausing. The Fed looks like they're going to be pausing rate hikes. It seems like we're going to have a very important election. I couldn't tell you which direction is going to swing, but a very important election coming up tomorrow in the United States. And then we also have Bitcoin managing to go through a very small but very significant movement to the upside. And that's what we're looking at here. So you have the context. You have the context that the total cryptocurrency market capitalization is in the bottom of this massive range. You have the context that the Dixie is pausing. You have the context that the S&P 500 is bouncing. You have the context that there are still a lot of short liquidations coming in. You have the context that we might see 50 basis point rate hikes. You have a context that, and this is something I haven't mentioned yet, that the real estate market in the United States is slowing down, indicating that people are exiting the real estate market, and that the real estate market is looking a little bit less appealing for right now for short-term flippers and people that are getting into real estate, and they're going to look for places to put money. All these people are going to look for places to put money, and they're going to look in the US dollar, but they're also going to look in Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin is most of the way through its cycle, most of the way through its bear market cycle, then we should reasonably expect that it will be setting itself up for a position to move to the upside over the next 3 to 6 months. Now, there is still a very large possibility of a massive drop down to $9,000 to $13,000. Although that does look slightly less likely than it did 2 weeks ago, not so much because of the price action on Bitcoin, but more because of the changing geopolitical headwinds having to do with the effective federal funds rate, having to do with inflation, having to do with global politics, and the like, and these elections, and Twitter. There's so many things that go into Bitcoin's price besides just the TA. We're 20 minutes into the stream, and I haven't even looked at the TA on Bitcoin yet, and that's for a reason. I want you guys to understand that technical analysis is very important, but you cannot look at it in a box. I did that for years. I looked at Bitcoin mainly in a box, and I did not zoom out and look at the geopolitical patterns. I didn't look at when there was conflict going on around the world. I didn't look at when, you know, the Fed was messing with rates. And that was naive of me to think that the global economy was not going to have an implication and an impact on Bitcoin. It most certainly does. We even showed you that last week. I showed you that last week on the inverse correlation between the Dixie, the US dollar currency index, and Bitcoin. The point is, Bitcoin has a lot of forces attacking it right now, a lot of forces benefiting it right now, and it's starting, a lot of those forces are starting very, very, very preliminarily, if that's even a word, to move Bitcoin in a bullish direction and to help Bitcoin in a bullish setup. It is extremely early. Before I call a bull market or even a major uptrend, I need to see Bitcoin sit above $22,000, $25,000 for a while. And I'm going to show you that here in a second on the TA on Bitcoin. But the point is, for now, there's a lot of geopolitical factors, and they are starting, geopolitical, economic, fiscal, monetary policy factors that are impacting Bitcoin, and a lot of them are starting to move in a bullish direction, and that is encouraging. Let's go ahead and read chat here for a second. We've already got 800 people watching. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. If you're enjoying today's stream, I want you to do me a favor. Hit that like button. Really helps to let me know that you are enjoying the content here. I want you guys to get as much value out of the stream here as possible, and I want you guys to walk away excited that you are in cryptocurrency, because there is so much opportunity here. I want you to walk away having an understanding of where the market's going, and I also want you to walk away knowing that I care about you, and I want you to succeed in the cryptocurrency space. We're going to go ahead and read some chat, but before we do, I do just want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, and they would be none other than Anthony Price. If you guys don't know about Anthony Price, you absolutely should learn about him and check out the link down below, because Anthony Price is our CPA who helps you to understand crypto taxes and help you set up a strategy so that you will be able to save as much money as possible and reduce taxes in a legal way. You can go over to his website here to read it. Wonderful website. I really love this website. AnthonyPriceCPA.com is where you can go. One of the things that he puts down here that I really enjoy is this. He says, not maximizing your S Corp or income shifting leads up to $5,000 to $25,000 a year in overpaid taxes. I have an S Corporation. Our company, my company is set up as an S Corporation, so I know what he's talking about here. Without our service, you'll need staff, and that's costly. We save you 8 hours a week. 8 hours a week at $25 a month is $800 a month. So this is on the organizational standpoint, but also there's a lot of things down here having to do with, fractional CFO, or CFO and advisory services, basically tax professional services. But there's also a lot of cryptocurrency advising strategies over here. For example, you can see cryptocurrency tax and advising and accounting. One of the things that you guys need to know is that to save money in cryptocurrency needs to be done the right way. If you're trying to save money in crypto from taxes and you do it the wrong way and you don't report something correctly, well, the IRS is cracking down. They're hiring thousands of new agents. They're really trying to come after people that are not paying their taxes in crypto, whether they intend to or not. They want to help they want to not help people. They want to help themselves. They want to come for your money. And the best thing you can do is hire a CPA who knows how to fight that battle for you, because it's not a battle you want to fight on your own, because if you overpay, well, that's money you could have been growing in cryptocurrency. And if you underpay, well, the IRS is going to have something to say about it. So check him out. Anthony Price. The link is in the description box down below. Boom sauce. Guys, let's go ahead and read some chat. Okay, let's see here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I need to pull something up over here. Yeah. So we're going to talk about... I have an article over here about FTX and Binance here in a little bit. Interesting stuff. I'm still learning about it myself because this is stuff that's breaking fresh. And, I do the show right first thing here in the morning. But basically... yeah, we're going to dive into that here in a little bit. If anybody has any specific information you want to make sure that I covered, then let me know in the chat. But let's read some chat here. We got several super chats. Thank you guys so much. First one coming from Martine Siebels. Satoshi Stacker showed info about CZ and Sam Bankman-Fried, Changpeng Zhao and Sam Bankman-Fried of Binance and FTX respectively, and what's possibly going on. Do you have a view about it? I do see Bitcoin going up. I assume, because Twitter is the place to be right now, that was shared over on Twitter. I will try and find that. Satoshi Stacker, I believe, is on Twitter. I've never met that guy, but I have heard of him. Let's see if I can find that. Breaking U.S. government. Oh, this is interesting. U.S. government now holds 210,000 Bitcoin. Well, that's off topic, but incredible. Yeah. So let's see if I can find that. Show some info about them. I would have to, if you're able to link to that tweet, that would be helpful. Like I said, I'm assuming that it was give him a follow. I'm assuming that it was a tweet, but I couldn't tell you what you're talking about. As far as what's going on with SBF and Binance, there are insolvency rumors. We're going to jump into that here in a second. Was a competitor swimmer in high school, and salt pools were pretty normal. Miss swimming, though. It was really nice while I was in the pool, but then I got out, and I think I went into a hypoglycemic state, because I think there's something wrong with my blood sugar. But so I was feeling bad. And I jumped in the pool with no warm-up and just started going crazy, and I had a Mountain Dew before that. That's all I was going off of, so I set myself up for failure on that. Let's see. We also have another super chat here. A lot of them. Chiron Nestor said, like the vid. Thank you. Definitely like the video. Simon says, Google validating Sol now. Bullish for crypto. Wow. Wow. That's incredible. Sorry, everyone. I had a kid in my lap. Couldn't type much earlier. I know what that's like, Shannon. We've got a precious little one who just turned 2 back in October. Crypto Mini Bikes in chat also. Let's see. Shannon Sharp in chat, of course. Well, I just read their chat, her chat. Any thoughts on FTX drama, or did I miss it? Yeah, we're going to look at that here in a little bit. ProXX said, hey, Jebb, I own about 5,500 ADA. How much should I get to retire? Thanks. People are always asking that question about ADA. I don't know why it's always on ADA. Nobody ever asked that question on Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's always on ADA. That I can't answer that question for you. You have to answer that question for yourself, but I can help you answer that question for yourself. How long do you plan on retiring? How much money do you want to spend every single year? Do you really think it's a good idea to bet your entire retirement and all of your golden years on one asset? I have an answer to that, but I'll let you answer that for yourself. And how much money are you going to need for that time? I believe in Cardano. I think Cardano is going to do exceptionally well. I would not bet the farm on one asset or bet 20, 30 years of income on one asset, though. As far as whether 5,500 is enough, I don't think it would be. If you're living in, the United States, 5,500 ADA, even if Cardano did go to $30, like I think it probably will in the next 10, 15 years, would only be $165,000. You account for inflation, that's not going to get you too far. That's going to get you 3, 4 years in a very frugal lifestyle. So 5,500, I would say, is definitely not enough if you're going to have a typical length retirement of 10, 15, 20, 30 years. But yeah, Martine Siebel said, Satoshi said in his show the idea of FTX failing, but not sure seen SBF should have enough money, so not Twitter, but his own show. Lots of info. Okay, gotcha. Pat Doyle in chat. Yeah, I would have to look into that. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So stay tuned because we will discuss everything having to do with SBF and Changpeng Zhao coming up here later on towards the end of the show. SBF took over Coffee and Crypto too? No, I own the company. Don't worry. Nobody's taking that from me. Stake the Cardano too. Yeah, staking is definitely going to be a good way to help with that. Powerball winning is what we need to retire. Yeah, get it up to $1 billion again or something crazy. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump back onto the chart. We're going to jump into Bitcoin, but then we will talk about SBF and Changpeng Zhao, CZ, as he's better known as, a little bit later. First thing I want to do, though, is jump deep dive here into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because we talked about the geopolitical landscape around Bitcoin at the beginning of the show, but now we got to talk about the specifics. On the specifics, Bitcoin has been setting higher highs and, as you can see now, higher lows on its chart. One of the things I also want to show you is Lux Algo SR patterns and premium. I don't know what it's going to show because I haven't pre-analyzed this, but interestingly enough, I literally just turned that on for the first time today, and I drew these trend lines right here. Those, right? I mean, you just saw me draw them here on stream, and Lux Algo actually drew almost an identical set of lines right here that give you the same idea. These are not actually supposed to represent the exact highs and the exact lows in the way that I was drawing these, but these represent kind of a zone that the market is moving through. I'll just go to a clean chart here so you can see a little bit better what Lux Algo is doing here. This is without any drawings. You can see remove 0 drawings or 13 indicators, but 0 drawings. Lux Algo SR and Patterns Premium drew this. This is part of the Lux Algo package. If you don't know what it is, you should definitely get it. And this is showing just this zone, this upwards trending momentum where we have, for example, here we have higher lows coming in from this original higher low. We have a small higher low, I believe is what SHL stands for. Higher low, HL is higher low. I think this might be significant higher low actually. But then we also saw another higher low, so a couple of higher lows. Then we saw the lower highs coming down from these highs. But then we saw the change of character. The CHOCH is the change of character. Change of character. We broke bullish. Again, all of the only thing I'm drawing on this chart are my drawings right here. Everything else Lux Algo is painting on here for you. We saw the change of character. Bitcoin broke out, higher high. Then we saw structural integrity right here where we actually saw a double top. If you come down here on the shorter term time frames, I think it details this as a double top. On one of the time frames, I think it does anyway. Nevertheless, here on the 4-hourly chart, we saw higher highs, and then we saw a break of structure where the market broke to the upside, and then we're coming right back down to this zone that Lux Algo is drawing. And that's not the only thing that Lux Algo is going to show you. And by the way, there's actually a free version of this specific part of Lux Algo called Smart Money Concepts. This is free, and it's going to give you some of that information. Not all of it, of course, because it's free. And Lux Algo is a paid indicator that, by the way, is worth every penny. They've got 35,000 people that use that indicator on the daily, and they do it for a reason. But nevertheless, this is a free indicator that Lux Algo has that's going to give you some of that information, but not all of it. It's going to show you that there was a break of structure right here, but then it's also going to show you something that the other indicator doesn't. So even if you have the paid indicator, you should still use the free one here. It says that this is a weak high. That's something to keep in mind, that okay, we had a high, but it was a weak one. We didn't break massively above this structure, the BOS right here. We broke only slightly above that structure, which indicates that we want to be careful because we might not be getting as much strength as we would like. Again, there's nothing I've drawn on this chart. This is a completely clean chart except for Lux Algo right now, showing you all of this. And by the way, if you want to get that free indicator, Smart Money Concepts on Lux Algo, go to Indicators, go to Community Scripts, go to Trending. You can see it is the most highly liked script over here on trending on TradingView. By the way, see how this has 6,153 likes? First of all, notice that blows everything out of the water by an order of magnitude. The next highest is this one right here, and this one. And then there's also a bunch of other ones down here by LuxAlgo themselves because they're just absolutely revolutionizing that space. But this was at 5,500 likes on Friday. You can go back and watch the stream on, it was either Thursday or Friday because I showed you this. It was at 5,500 likes. It's gotten 600 likes, which is like 10% of all of its likes in the last 4 days. So just need to go check it out. It's solid. Anyway, continuing on here. That just helps us to have an understanding of where Bitcoin is, where Bitcoin's going. But also, let's take a look here at, actually I have Smart Money Concepts up twice. I only need it once, but definitely need it that one time. We can also look here at LuxAlgo itself, LuxAlgo Premium. This is the original indicator. And then we've also got the oscillator that we can pull up here in a little bit and show you. And I'm also going to show you other TA. I'm not just going to show you LuxAlgo. I know there's other things to look at here, but LuxAlgo is giving us a lot of really strong information right now. And part of the reason I want to show you LuxAlgo is because on the 4-hourly chart, you can see we had a bullish buy signal right here. Then we saw the market trend to the upside. We saw the market break up, and we saw this happen. This is where we saw trend catcher turn green, so we had confirmation. On top of that, we had green bullish confirmation cross here on the EQ cloud. So that was a second confirmation. We had the signal. There's one confirmation on the trend catcher, a second confirmation right here. A third confirmation came in here from Lux Oscillator turning green, and there would probably be a few others if we looked for them. But nevertheless, LuxAlgo pretty much confirmed this movement to the upside, being a confirmed break of this sideways structure that we've been in for months in the span of one candlestick. So you don't get much better than that. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, we pushed really deep here into the EQ cloud, fell out of it. That indicated we were going to see sideways movement because the market was not able to maintain its way in the EQ cloud. One of the things that Sean, the founder of LuxAlgo and CEO of LuxAlgo, explained to me, which I think is really powerful, is that if you push here into the EQ cloud and then you fall out of it, a lot of times that means you've lost the strength, because why didn't you stay in the EQ cloud, right? I mean, that just makes sense. You fell out of it, so now you're going to go sideways. But we managed to get a second burst. We saw a sell signal that was never confirmed, so it was invalid, which makes this strong sell signal invalid because it just refers back to this one, which we were already under. We then saw the market pushed to the upside because we fell into the EQ cloud here, here in the middle. These are the reversal zones, by the way. I may have called them EQ clouds earlier. They're reversal zones. This is the bullish reversal zone, or the resistance reversal zone, if you will. But we fell into the EQ cloud here, found support in it. Remember how we were talking about on total that there's that central level of support here that the market plays around? You can see right here, that central level that the market plays around. Well, on Bitcoin, it's something similar, and on LuxAlgo, it's something similar. That EQ cloud in the center is a major level of support and resistance for Bitcoin. We fell back into it in this period. We saw the candles turn purple. It indicated, okay, we could be seeing market movement to the downside, but then we saw a double bottom. We saw the bottoms come in at the equal levels here, and then we saw the market blast off to new local highs, jumping straight into the take profit. You can see there was a strong buy signal right here. Take profit levels were between $21,040 and $21,700. The central line being right here, the very middle of that take profit zone. And look at where LuxAlgo sent Bitcoin to. Boom. It was absolutely perfect. Nailed it. And we also rallied up here and tested that resistance reversal zone, which gave us confirmation, okay, the market dropped. Now, one thing that we want to keep in mind is remember that signal that we got earlier from Smart Money Concepts where it said that this was a weaker high. See this right here? We're doing some pretty deep analysis on LuxAlgo here. See this weak high? Part of the reason that that's going to come in, or at least something that'll correlate with it, I don't know if it has a causal relationship in the algorithm, but something that'll correlate with it is you see over here, we got really, really deep into the reversal zones. Here, we only barely touched it, which indicates that, yeah, we moved very quickly, but we weren't able to just punch straight into the reversal zone. We weren't able to punch up here to like 21.8 or 22,000. That indicates that the market was a little bit weaker, but also keep in mind the market had to move a long way just to get up there. Just to get up there, it moved 6% in a day. So it's a weaker high, but really that's just because the market moved so quickly. It's almost like we had, for any of you guys who understand how blood sugar works, the only reason I'm using this analogy is because, almost going into shock last night made me think about it a little bit. You eat sugar, boom, spikes and falls right back down. That's kind of what we're seeing right now, rather than if you were to eat like oatmeal or something, it comes back down slowly. This is if you eat oatmeal. This is if you eat a Hershey bar. That's the difference right there. Boom. You're learning about medical science at the same time that you're learning about crypto. Bitcoin fell over pretty quickly. And the cool thing is it's fallen right here. And let's just go over here to our clean chart again. It's fallen right here into that EQ cloud again, which indicates that there's a strong likelihood that we could find support here and continue back to the upside. That also correlates with these higher lows that we see right here on this trend line. Again, just using one trend line here, and it also correlates with what LuxAlgo is drawing here with this uptrending zone with that red level right there, that red dotted level indicating the general direction of the market movement. So all of that says that LuxAlgo, all the technical indicators give us an idea that the market is trying to bottom out in the zone between, and this is really what you're looking for, is I know I'm giving the explanation, but you really need something to walk away with that you can chew on. What Bitcoin and LuxAlgo and the market in general is telling us, in my opinion, is that you're going to see Bitcoin try and find a bottom, and I think it's still seeking that bottom. I don't know if it's found it. I think it's going to try and find a bottom between $20,700 and $20,000. $20,000, that number coming from this bottom. First of all, $20,000 being a major level in the first place. I think you're going to try and find that bottom between where we are now and 20K in the next 2 days. That's the next 48 hours. Because one, that is the bottom of this level on the free indicator over on LuxAlgo. Two, it is the double bottom territory that we set here. Three, it is the previous all-time high in 2017. Four, it represents pretty solidly $1 trillion market capitalization. If you look over here, assuming a 40% market dominance Bitcoin and market capitalization sitting at $1 trillion. And five, it also represents a pretty strong correction of 6 to 7% over the last 5 to 6 days, and a return back to this bottom, which would establish this as a triple bottom with higher highs. And if that did occur and Bitcoin was able to bounce there and start rallying back up, I think you would be in a very strong position to argue that the market is going to continue in the upwards direction over the next week or two, especially if on November the 10th we have bullish fundamentals coming out of bullish CPI data. If not, then you could see Bitcoin drop back down here, for example, to the bearish reversal zone. That would sit down around $19,800. And just remember, the further we go down here, whether we find a bottom where we are now, or at 20,300, or 20,100, or 20,000 flat, that makes the case for the bulls a little bit weaker. Because what I'd really like to see is the bulls manage to maintain support right here and bounce and continue to the upside. If we could see that happen, that would be wonderful. But with the FUD we're about to talk about in the space, we shall see whether or not that takes place. Because if FTX is, for some reason, insolvent, that kind of throws everything that I just said out the window, with it being one of the largest exchanges in crypto. And by the way, we're going to get into that here in just a second, but let me just come over here and give you an example of what I'm talking about. You can see over here on CoinMarketCap, FTX and Binance are the two largest exchanges in the cryptocurrency space. Volume over the last 24 hours for Binance sitting at $20 billion, FTX sitting at $2 billion. But just remember, FTX is still number 2, and they have a huge amount of weekly visits, huge amount of liquidity, huge amount of markets, and a huge amount of coins. So they are one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges, vastly outcompeted by Binance, but still a huge, huge player in the space. And if something happened to them, man, we're going to have to see what that would do to crypto. All right, guys. Sorry about the black screen there. Hit the wrong button. We're going to read chat here for a little bit. We've got 900 people watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're enjoying today's stream, smash that like button. I really appreciate you being here. Make sure if you have your coffee that you take a sip, because this is coffee and crypto, man. I love the smell of coffee in the morning. Let's see some super chats here. Yeah, Martine Siebels, we read that one. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, looking at the current Bitcoin technicals, what do you expect to do leading up to the CPI report Thursday morning? Also, thanks for what you do, Jebb. Thank you, Grand Roofing, for all of your support. Always a pleasure seeing you in chat, my friend. I think CPI data will come back about the same or ever so slightly a beat. Ever so slightly, just barely better than what it was. And the reason for that is because it's hard to tell, because it's not an isolated factor. Energy prices have been going up, but housing prices have been going down. And shelter makes up a big part of CPI. So I don't know what CPI is going to come back. To be honest with you, a lot of times I can kind of predict it, but right now the best I can say is it's going to come back about the same, maybe slightly lower. And the only reason it would be slightly lower, because there's arguments to say it should be higher, is because the real estate market is slumping by about 3-5% around the United States of America over the last month, and we're seeing gas prices move to the upside. So and also the other thing I want to say is that that 12 month ago's data is dropping off because a moving average. It's a 12-month rolling moving average. And so yeah, that's pretty important. Let me see if I really quickly. I don't know if you can actually find this. Let me see if I can find a CPI data, U.S. CPI, Consumer Price Index. You can actually find it on the chart. Oh, cool! I didn't know that. Oh wait, what is this? Well, this is awkward. What is this? I've never seen this before in my life. Oh, this is the actual number. This isn't the change. Let me see if I can find year over year, median year over year. Aha, I did find it. I don't think this is accurate, but this looks like something that we could go off of. You can see, let's put this in auto. You can see we have U.S. CPI median year over year. There's the U.S. CPI, the actual consumer price index, but that's the actual number. But I mean, this is helpful too. Just take a look here at the CPI, the actual number, because you're measuring the rate of change, but the number that you're looking at is the rate of change year over year, but there's an actual number underlying that people never talk about. From December of 2020 to now, it's jumped 14%. That means on average, prices in the United States have gone up 14% over the last 2 years. So, anyway, yeah, it's nonsense is what it is. But if we look at the median year over year, you can see it's just absolutely moonshot. I mean, this is Bitcoin during a bull market kind of territory, and that's saying something. CPI was sitting down here around 0.5 back in 08, 09, and 10. Sitting between 2 and 3, which is where the Fed wanted it. It was starting to get a little higher. That's when the Fed started raising it. Then it dropped moving into 2021, which I think is absolute malarkey. I think this is completely fabricated. And I think it was intentional too. I think this is completely and totally nonsense. You mean to tell me that prices did not go up and that the rate of change did not increase during 2020? When the global supply chain was shut down and the United States lost 30% of its GDP in 2.5 months? Nonsense. Complete and total nonsense that this number is only going up now. Don't believe it as far as I can throw it, and CPI is a pretty big number. Anyway, I don't like being lied to, and I do think the government is making up numbers when it comes to that. I think they're being very, very generous with the inflation data, saying that it's sitting at 7% year over year, 8.2%, whatever the number you want to use. Regardless, that number is going to have a big impact on it. So yes, we're going to talk about FTX here in just a little bit. But just wanted to read chat here for a second. And guys, before we jump into our next phase of the show, I do just want to give you a little bit of a heads up on a really awesome cryptocurrency exchange, and they are known as none other than BitGet. If you guys are not familiar with BitGet, they have a ton of different functionality over here where you can get into cryptocurrency with some massive, massive bonuses. As you can see, you can actually get into cryptocurrency here through a deposit, but you can also do peer-to-peer trading, and you can even buy cryptocurrency with one click over here, where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency using your different things. Like you can use US dollars to buy your cryptocurrencies right here to get in the game. So you can use BitGet as your on-ramp. They've also got futures over here. So you can go to USDT-M futures, USDC-M futures, Coin-M futures. You've got your demo trading, which is pretty cool. That's awesome. Then you got your spot trading, your spot grid trading, auto buy low and sell high. This is pretty interesting. I haven't had a chance to look at this too much, but definitely is a very cool feature. Like I said, I'm not going to get into that too much right now, but they've got some pretty great exchange features over here. But they've also got something over here that I really enjoy, and it's called copy trading. If you guys are not familiar with copy trading, essentially you have expert traders over here that trade for a living, and you can follow them and trade right alongside them. You can see a lot of these people have 500 people following them, 500 out of 500 people following them, the followers versus their maximum number of followers. And these people are making their traders and the people following them tons of money. You can see the copiers over here made $156,000. So make sure you check out BitGet and get copy trading today and get $10 in USDT when you sign up with the link in the description box down below. Boom. But let's go ahead and read chat here for another minute or two, and then we're going to see what we can see on the FTX Binance drama. Not quite sure. Let's see. Let's see. The crash is imminent for FTT and Solana. Whew. Golly, that'd be big. That would be big. By the way, guys, don't forget, I will not be here on Friday, but an interview with Kevin O'Leary will be going live on Friday. So that will be replacing Coffee and Crypto, and I believe I will be putting it up at 10 a.m. so you have regularly scheduled content, even though it's not Coffee and Crypto. But Kevin O'Leary had a whole lot to say about a lot of different things, and you know that guy's a firecracker, and he even gave some very interesting investment ideas that you have never heard of here on this channel. So first time on the channel, you're going to be hearing some of these investment ideas. You're not going to want to miss this. You're going to want to get your popcorn and your coffee and check it out. I'm glad the younger generation is listening to you, Jebb. I take my hats off to you. You guys are smart. Learn about money and start investing at a young age. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've been very blessed by the Lord. He's been very good to me. And by the way, I don't have it. No, I forgot to put it on. I have my necklace, my cross necklace, and I forgot to put it on this morning. I always feel naked when I leave the house without it. But anyway, I got my cross necklace back. So you guys will see that on me again, the famous necklace that you guys have seen me wear for years. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, I'm like you, I'm not quite sure. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be a slight miss. But what do you think it's going to do leading up to the report? I think there's going to be a lot of anxiety in the cryptocurrency space until CPI data comes out. If it comes out below 8.2, then I think you see Bitcoin jump substantially. And you see Bitcoin jump because then the market's probably going to start pricing in a 50 basis point rate hike, which it has not started doing just yet. The market has not priced in 50 or 75 because it doesn't know yet. CME Futures doesn't know yet. And then it's going to end up we're going to see what happens on that. But we got 10 minutes left, so let's go ahead and jump into a couple of articles over here and see what is going on with FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, otherwise known as SBF, and Binance founder and CEO Changpeng Zhao, otherwise known as CZ. I need to just go by like CJ or something because it seems like all the cool people in crypto have abbreviated names. Anyway, FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried denies insolvency rumor as Binance liquidates FTT token. So if you don't know what that is, let's go over here and I'll just show you. FTT token is the FTX token. It's worth $3 billion, and it is the native token for FTX. It's ranked number 26 on CoinMarketCap. If we go back to our article over here, the head of FTX sister company Alameda Research offered to buy as much of FTT as Binance wants to sell, which would be SBF himself. He is the founder of Alameda Research, and I believe he still owns 90% of it, so he's still a major shareholder in Alameda Research. Definitely a lot we could go into on that. As speculation mounted over the weekend about the solvency of billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX crypto exchange, the FTX CEO tweeted early Monday morning that FTX is fine, assets are fine. FTX has enough to cover all client holdings, he added. We don't invest clients' assets, even in treasuries. We have been processing all withdrawals, and we will continue to be. Last week, CoinDesk published a story revealing the balance sheet of FTX sister company Alameda Research was loaded with FTX's native exchange token FTT. That led to a public war of words between Alameda CEO Caroline Ellison and Binance CEO Changpeng CZ Zhao, and also a sizable owner of the FTT token. Noting the revelations that in that CoinDesk report, Zhao said his exchange would begin liquidating any remaining FTT it held on its books. Ellison fired back over Twitter saying Alameda stood ready to purchase for $22 each, roughly the price at the time, any amount of FTT Binance wanted to unload. I'd love it, CZ, if we could work together for the ecosystem, Bankman-Fried said in his tweet on Monday. The FTT token was recently trading at $22.34, according to CoinDesk data. It is down 14% this month. Here's another article that we can read and get a little bit more of the scoop. Crypto billionaire square off. CZ to liquidate Binance's hundreds of millions of dollars in native token of Bankman-Fried's rival FTX exchange. Look, guys, you're dealing with two of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the industry, and both of them want to battle for supremacy. Binance realizes that FTX is a power player that's up and coming, getting massive deals. When Binance gets one sports legend in a certain industry, FTX gets the other. That's the way this is going right now. These two have been going back and forth and duking it out for the last 2 years. And this is just another update on that. It could be that Bankman-Fried is starting to go insolvent, but I don't know about that just yet. Two titans of the crypto industry may be squaring off for control of the $1 trillion digital assets market with only one left standing. Binance founder Changpeng Zhao said on Sunday his exchange will liquidate the remainder of its FTT tokens. We will try to do so in a way that minimizes market impact, wrote CZ on Twitter. Due to market conditions and limited liquidity, we expect this to take a few months to complete. CZ did not specify how much Binance held, but says it held roughly $2.1 billion equivalent in FTT and owns BUSD dollar-denominated stablecoins. He confirmed that $584 million in FTT had already been converted. Binance invested in FTT in 2019 before exiting in July 2021. The news comes just at a time when FTT is trading at a key trend line support of $22, which it has been successfully defending ever since it broke above the level back in February 2021. We can even come over here and take a look at that over on FTT, because this is where I come in, the technical analyst. Hello, I'm a technical analyst. Let's see what we can do. If we look here on the daily chart, yep, I can see it already. Sure enough, $22, boom, very strong level right here, $21, $22. Didn't take long to find that. That's a very important level, and FTT has been consistently dropping down here. So, by the way, this is why technical analysis is so important, and people ignore it. Because I'll be honest, I've never done an analysis on FTT token because I'm not too interested in investing in exchange tokens. But the market has been dropping. It tried to break bullish, and now it's coming back down to test it. If you're one of the major holders of FTT, and you just so happen to not like FTT because they're your biggest competitor and the up and coming rookie in the space that could dethrone you, what better time to offload your crypto? I'm not saying that Changpeng Zhao is doing this intentionally to crash the price of the token and therefore hurt FTT, because obviously FTX holds a lot of it being their native token. But I'm also not saying that he's not doing that, if you catch my drift. Anyway, the timing has sparked concerns that a collapse in FTT could endanger the solvency of its issuer, although the director of research and marketing analysis firm The Block dismissed such fears. I think the chance of an FTX insolvency is near zero, wrote Larry Sermark. He acknowledged, however, that clearly there are liquidity issues as people were cashing in their FTT out of caution. Bankman-Fried has been behind a consolidation in the market, offering a lifeline to bankrupt crypto lending platform Voyager Digital. Very interesting move he made there. His company already had financial links to the Canadian company. In September, Voyager creditor and debitor Alameda told a court it would return $200 million it had borrowed. A lot to get into. Don't have enough time to jump into it in its full extent here. You can kind of just pause and look through this article. This is over on fortune.com. So this is making its way out of crypto. You can even see right here, Ki Young Ju said, FTX's stablecoin reserve just reached a year low. $51 million is now down 93% in the last 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't think that FTX is going to go insolvent anytime soon, because they're just such a big player and they have so much revenue coming in from their core revenue stream, which is just people paying fees on the exchange, and Sam Bankman-Fried being such a big name in the space. But a lot of people have turned on SBF in the industry in their trust for him. And Changpeng Zhao, despite a lot of what's happened at Binance, people still love him. And that's going to be very hard for FTX. So I don't know if they're going insolvent, but this might be a move in the wrong direction for sure. Love to hear what you guys think on that in chat, though. Below $22 would be catastrophic for FTT. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. It would not be good. Make sure you get your coffee, guys. Boom. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got 1,000 people watching. If you guys are enjoying today's show, make sure to smash that like button. We're going to go here for a couple more minutes. We're going to read chat and then we're going to wrap it out. Yes. FTX is defending pretty well the $22 mark. Yeah, but defending a level and then not making progress past it doesn't help a whole lot for that argument, though. I just showed you guys the chart, and FTX over the last, well, pretty much since May, the highest it's been able to get is 32. And in the last 3 months, the highest it's been able to get is 26. That, to be honest with you, that doesn't look like defense, that strong a defense. Blaine said, say it, Jebb, bedrock. Boom, bedrock. Said it. Thoughts on the midterms? Decisive. Don't have time to get into it too much, but decisive. Potentially catastrophic geopolitically if some of the wrong people get elected. There are people that want us to pull out of NATO. That would be a mistake. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you were voting. Pulling out of NATO would be one of the biggest national security risks that we've ever faced in our entire lifetime. And that's not to say that the United States doesn't have valid concerns about countries paying their fair share, but pulling out of NATO would be a giant mistake. FTX got caught with his hands in the cookie jar. Yeah. Oh, man. Guys, any chats you have, any questions you have, now's the time. Let me know what you got. CZ sounds like a real believer in the ethos of crypto. SBF acts more like a TradFi guy. I don't trust him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either one of them, man. I'd love to get one of them or both of them on the channel here. If any of you guys have any contacts to one of them, let me know, because I'd love to interview both of them and help you guys understand the way that both of them tick. I'm not against either one of them. I don't have a reason to be. That doesn't mean that there aren't reasons to be. I just don't know about them if there are good ones. Let's see here. Really, really, really appreciate you guys tuning in. All right. Do you think Doge will go to 50 cents? I don't think so. I mean, it might if it gets adopted by Twitter. If it gets adopted by Twitter, maybe. Go talk to Ben. He loves SBF. Really? Really? Ben loves Sam Bankman-Fried, huh? That's interesting. Jebb, Trust Wallet or Exodus Wallet? Never used Trust Wallet. Exodus Wallet has always served me well. Haven't used it in the last year or so, but Exodus was my first wallet. Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Let's read that one. Shadrach Frost in chat. Word for the day. Word up. Thank you, man. Let's see. What is that? Let's get Proverbs. I don't have that one in my noggin. Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Amen. 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 Peace. No, not quite, Mike Cerconi. Ben loves SBF. Really? You sure? Oh, man. Yeah, guys, we're at a crossroads. There's a crossroads here in crypto, and I think the next month is going to be really decisive. I think where you see the market, and we'll just wrap it out with this. I think what you see the market do over the next several weeks is going to determine what you're going to see happen over the next several months. And the reason I say that is because if we see a 50 basis point rate hike, that indicates the Fed is starting to taper. That indicates that the top for the effective federal funds rate could be 5% or even lower. If we see 75 basis points, then you continue on in this sideways movement. I think you need to see 75. I think you need to see 50 basis points. I think you need to see lowering CPI data, and I think you need to see an inflow of traditional money to see Bitcoin get back up above that $25,000 region. But if it does do that over the next several weeks, and if it does continue in this uptrend, then that's wonderful. Right now, I want you to understand that we're in an uptrend, but it's not confirmed. As far as it's not confirmed to enter us into a bull market. It's a confirmed uptrend, but it's not going to confirm us to enter into a bull market. But it is a setup, and it is an opportunity, and it is exciting, but it is not confirmed. So understand that we can sit on the edge of our seats and wait for a massive breakout, but it hasn't come yet. FTX token almost at $23. Wow. Wow, man, it's really moving, huh? Well, guys, if you guys enjoyed today's show, I really, really do appreciate all of you tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 750 likes here in the next couple of minutes. Guys, that is going to wrap it for today. If you guys have any further questions for me, let me know down in the chat, and I can get back to them here before we wrap out. If you have any questions for us, as always, feel free to email support@cryptojebb.com, and also make sure to check out BitGet and Anthony Price with the link down below, and make sure to check out Luxalgo. Use coupon code JEBB, J-E-B-B, for 20% off at checkout. I really do appreciate all of you tuning in, but before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.